Hello, everybody. We are back with another review. Good morning to all of you. I hope you guys are enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome to Blind Woman Reviews. Yes, I am completely blind for anyone who is new, and I review books because I love them. This is my review for Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I'm super excited. So let's begin without further ado. Yeah, remember from my last video that I am a Sarah J. Maas stan, and also if you have not watched my last video regarding Sarah J. Maas, I will link it below. It is the review for The Assassin's Blade. So yeah, anyway. After serving out a year of hard labor in the salt mines of Endovier for her crimes, 18-year-old assassin Selena Sardathian is dragged before the crown prince. Prince Dorian offers her her freedom on one condition: she must act as his champion in a competition to find a new royal assassin. Her opponents are men, thieves and assassins, and warriors from across the empire, each sponsored by a member of the king's council. If she beats her opponents in a series of eliminations, she'll serve the kingdom for 4 years and then be granted her freedom. Selena finds her training sessions with the captain of the guard, Westfall, challenging and exhilarating, but she's bored stiff by court life. Things get a little more interesting when the prince starts to show interest in her. But it's the gruff Captain Westfall who seems to understand her best. Then one of the other contestants turns up dead, quickly followed by another. Can Selena figure out who the killer is before she becomes a victim? As the young assassin investigates, her search leads her to discover a greater destiny than she could possibly have imagined. So, I of course read The Assassin's Blade before reading this novella, which I'm sorry, this novel. Novella. Where was I saying? Okay, I'm sorry. I was reviewing novellas in my last video. Anyway, before reading this. So when I was reading this book, I was very well informed of the previous events, so everything connected really quickly. But if you are starting out with this book, you should know that you don't need to really read The Assassin's Blade before reading Throne of Glass. You don't really need to, but I will say definitely read it before Queen of Shadows, because The Assassin's Blade it doesn't make a big thing in this book. If you choose to start with this book and not read the prequel novellas, it's totally fine, because you're starting off in a new world and you kind of get to know Selena as she is at this moment, and as she will continue to be for now and the rest of the books. But it is definitely, for me, I felt that reading the prequels was the best option, because it was easy to kind of go back and be like, oh right, this is what happened. So A Throne of Glass, again, a well-written book. It has a great story. I like the competition aspect. I will say that the mystery aspect is definitely lacking, because the mystery aspect was very predictable, but I didn't care too much, because even though there was there was a mystery, the thing that Sarah J. Maas does really good, in my opinion, are definitely her characters and relationships. That's something that I think Sarah J. Maas does well. And that's kind of like, when I read Sarah J. Maas, my expectations are to get a story, to read a story that I know is going to be very character heavy, very relationship heavy, and I'm okay with all of that because I know what to expect when reading Sarah J. Maas, since I've been reading her for a couple of years now and I know what to expect. So she does well when it comes to her characters. That's one of the things I thought about when I was reading it the first time. And I like the way that she develops her characters, especially her both her lead and side characters. It doesn't feel like there's anything ever like fully missing. It doesn't feel like the characters are just there like props. It felt like a lot of them, the ones that definitely make a big part of the plot, were definitely there, and they didn't feel like they were just there to push the main character. Although we're going to talk about that in Crown of Midnight, but and in Empire Storms. However, that's kind of what it feels like. But definitely not something. It's definitely not. It definitely doesn't feel that way. So yeah, I find that that's something she does well. Here the main relationships are romantic and friendships, and there is kind of like a love triangle between Kale and Dorian, and she does start dating, like, having a thing with Dorian, and but then there's Kale. But honestly, guys, I read this book, and this is the third time I'm reading Throne of Glass, and all three times I think the same thing. Kale is an asshole. I hated him so much. Dorian was cute. Dorian was cute. I'm okay with Dorian. Dorian is the kind of character, he's like the cinnamon roll type, in my opinion, because he's like, he always sees the best in everyone. He may not always see, he doesn't always see the worst. Like, he knows that things are happening, he gets it, but like, he doesn't usually see the worst in everybody. Most of the time, even in Selena, he sees the best in her, while Kale just sees the worst in everybody, and I just want to punch him in the face. And then when it comes to Dorian, I just want to be his friend, because Dorian sees the best in everybody, no matter what their circumstances are, which gets very interesting in the rest of the series, honestly. But Dorian is cute. Well, Kale, I always thought of him as an asshole. When I read the first book, I thought he was an asshole. When I read the second time, he was an asshole. When I read the third time, he was still an asshole. And I was just like, Kale, I'm reading this the third time and I still want to punch you in the face. Like, that's what this felt like. Like, this is the third time I read Throne of Glass and I still want to punch Kale in the face. That's not a lot of change when it comes to Kale. While Dorian, I still want to protect. Selena is snappy. She always has a comeback. She's witty. She doesn't care about anything, and she doesn't learn humility. And I love her. And I love how she's just like, I'm gonna do whatever I want because I can. And she's the type of character I love because she's just witty. She's cool. I don't know. There's something about her that's just so interesting, honestly, that I love. Like, she's just like, she will stand up for whatever she wants, and I love that about her. It's inspiring in a way. And we have Nehemia, of course, which is one of the best friends. She has one of the best characters. I love her as a character. I love her so much. She's awesome. She's delightful, and her and Selena's friendship is just awesome. Just there. Like, I can picture that female friendship. I love the female support. I love it. The girl on girl friendship. I enjoy it a lot. She had chemistry pretty much with all of them. Selena had chemistry pretty much with, like, Nehemia, Kale, and Dorian. Kale and Dorian, she also had romantic chemistry with both. But I will say that I think with Dorian, it was definitely better. But yeah, because she's kind of a little bit darker, and he still is kind of like the light, so it's more interesting. I read this book mainly for the characters and the competition. The mystery, like I said, was lacking, but because I didn't care too much, I would give it, basically because the mystery was so lacking and I didn't care about it as much, I would probably give it like a 4.5, but in Goodreads, I did round it up to 5 stars. So think of that what you will, but if you ever follow me on Goodreads, if you ever find me on Goodreads, you'll see that I gave this 5 stars. In the 3 times I've read it, I've given it 5 stars. So yeah, it's a great book. Again, you don't need to read The Assassin's Blade before reading this. I think it's a good book. It felt kind of like a prologue to the rest of the series. more than anything else. There, again, very little world building, very little of that. There is magic in this book, and even the magic is not as, like, it doesn't have too many rules, so the magic is not as well identified here either, but I also didn't mind that. So yeah, again, 4.5/5 stars. Great book. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in more content, subscribe. I'm here. Like and comment on the video. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I am doing great so far. I'm really excited for these videos. And yeah, I'll see you in my next one. Happy reading.